So, Monster Hunter blew up in 2018 with Monster Hunter World, and with the new DLC coming out for Monster Hunter Rise soon, I decided I wanted to go back to the very beginning of it all, see where it all started and how Monster Hunter began, and it was definitely an experience. So the first Monster Hunter launched in 2004 on the PlayStation 2 with an offline campaign and then an online campaign that's no longer available because it's not online. The first thing I noticed when I tried to play the game was the camera. So the right stick doesn't rotate the camera in this game. What it does is you're attacking. So if you ever play Super Smash Bros, the smash stick for like side smash, up smash, and down smash, it's the same there. There's a different move for each one, and that's how you do attacks, and that'll let you combo certain things. So now you might be wondering, how do I change the camera? That would be pretty important in a game where it's all about dodging, getting the right hit in. Well, use the D-pad. You gotta get the gamer claw and hate your hand. It's bad. It's pretty bad. You'll get used to it, but it doesn't mean your hand will like it at all, really. They fixed it going forward, which was very good. But now that the camera's aside, everything else actually works really well. One thing to notice, the graphics. Before you say it's a PS2 game, there are certain things that stand out. Every time you go through a loading zone, it loads the entire zone, and for the PS2, it's pretty low loading times, which is really nice. The pre-rendered cutscenes all look really good, but when you get into the game, there are certain things like bushes that look really grainy and just kind of obscure your vision. The one thing about the bushes, if you fight in the bush and then there's a monster there, you can tell the graphical difference immediately, but I also know it's, supposed to be more about the monster rather than a random bush. The start of the game, the tutorial lasts about an hour and a half, because it's the 1-star and 2-star. If you know Monster Hunter, usually it goes up in stars and ranking for what you're able to do. Usually first star is like gathering, killing a really low monster. However, in this game, you don't really find a monster until the middle of 2-star, where it's just a defeat a Velociprey, and then at the end, as your urgent quest to get to 3-star, it's Seraphidrome. And to be honest, I expected this to go pretty smooth, because I've beaten plenty of monsters in World and Monster Hunter Rise, and I didn't expect much from Velociprey, but what I did to Velociprey was triple cart. If you don't know what that means that I died 3 times and had to restart the quest. And that hit me pretty hard. My confidence dropped. And then the very next day, after the failed attempt, I absolutely dunked him, because something fun about Seraphidrome with Sword and Shield is that you can just hit down on the stick and do a jumping slash and then completely infinite him. And the run back really didn't feel satisfying because of it. With the rest of the 3-star quests, there was one that was the most aggravating, and that's to defeat Cephalos. So what Cephalos are, they're little land sharks, and they don't want to fight you. They are camping assholes. So what they do is they run around in the desert, and it's pretty hard to hit them, and then eventually, if you use either a sonic bomb or something else, they'll come up and you can attack them for a little bit, but they generally just go right back down. And man, in this game, they don't have a time for how long they can be in the sand before they can come up. So that means you can wait the full 50-minute quest if your RNG is just that bad and not a single one will come up. You have to use cold drinks. So what cold drinks are, they protect you from the heat outside. And if you don't have a cold drink active, you are continuously taking damage. You're taking just a little tick on your health, so it's essentially a timer for how long you can even be out there. The final cherry is that you have to loot something from them. You have to get their liver, and you have a chance of not even getting that. That means if you fail to get that drop, you have to go kill another one, meaning you'll be there for a lot longer. Yunkutku was the next big monster, the next urgent, and I was eager to get into it. And I died. I might have done this way too many times to prevail. So yeah, about 60% of the places I would try to attack, I would just bonk, and then I wouldn't do damage, and then I'd be able to get hit by something, causing my death. This caused a lot of issues, and what I opted to do was just go get a better weapon, so then I no longer bonked, and then it went super easy. It's also worth noting that this guy is the one you want to grind money off of, because he's pretty easy and his parts sell for a lot, so this is how you get a lot of money in this game. Like I hunted for monsters, you can hunt for that subscribe button. I can't believe I just did that. So remember about like a minute ago when I was talking about the desert and how I got really annoyed about that one quest? Well then, how about we talk about Seraphidrome? So Seraphidrome is the bigger Cephalos. However, he's a little easier because his AI comes up a little more, meaning you can actually fight him instead of just waiting for him to come up, as well as there's one place in the desert you can fight him and you don't need a cold drink, so you don't need to be on that timer. Then there is Gypsaros. Gypsaros. He is a troll. He does this thing called the triangle attack. And what the triangle attack is, no, it's not Fire Emblem. It's where he runs in a triangle where you can't stop him, and he just wastes your time because it takes about 30 seconds. So unless you're a gunner, you're not going to be able to hit him pretty well. Like, really at all. You have to wait till he's done. And he can do it multiple times in a row. What happened to me was he did it 4 times in a row, and I had to just sit there and wait.
Alright, in any case, I will leave you to it. Good luck. Don't fucking die to the shitty monster.
To top it all off, he has a fake death, meaning the screen won't pop up and it won't say you've completed the quest. He'll instead die, and if you're not thinking, you can still forget that he can just come up and instant kill you. He can just one-shot you from you not knowing that he's not dead. He baits you into it, and he did it to me about 3 or 4 times, and I died the first time. Then there's Cephalos. Cephalos. He is the flagship of the Monster Hunter series, and he's a massive skill check. He's a massive skill check in this game. And it's one I failed to meet probably about 10-15 times. I had to go get a whole bunch more armor, and the thing that's really hard about Cephalos is he has an instant dash. So this instant dash is frame 1 or 2. And it will just hit you immediately for 60% of your health. Meaning that if you get hit by it twice and he can combo you, then you're just dead. Because it has a chance to stun you, meaning you have to sit there, mash your control stick, and hope that you can mash out before he does something else. But he can do the dash at least 3 times in a row if he wants, and if he does, then you're just gone. You're on a cart. You're not going back to the camp, you're going to the next country over. After multiple days, though, and getting more gear, potions, and weapons, this was how I felt. I did it! Let's go!
Did you do it?
It's fucking dead! And with that out of the way, there's now just 5-star monsters, and they're all easier than Cephalos. There's Rathian, who is just actually weaker Cephalos. It's a reskin with 1 more move that poisons you. Remember Seraphidrome? Oh boy, this is him in the water. So Plesioth is essentially the same thing. You get to do a really cool fishing animation with him. He has a hip check that is a hitbox. It is a hitbox. He's known for being the person with the weirdest hitbox in any Monster Hunter games, and I can definitely see why. I can 100% see why. One of the issues I had with this fight, though, is that I had a negative 15 water resistance, and he's a water monster, meaning that if I got hit by his throw-up, it did about 70% of my health, and if I healed at the wrong time, I was just kind of an idiot and I was dead. Then there was Basarios, who I thought was going to be a big problem, and he was extremely uneventful and then just kind of keeled over. He was kind of slow, which makes him not super hard to deal with. And then there was the final urgent of the game, the urgent of 5-star. And that's known as Monoblos. This is the final hurdle in the game, and man, he specializes in going underground and pulling the rug right out from under you. So what he does is he likes to go underground and then pop up. And this does about 60% of your health. He chunks your health. Almost any attack aside from walking into you does at least half, meaning you'll get 2-shot guaranteed. However, he's really, really slow. So his charge does about 80% of your health, but he screams first, and as long as you're not directly in front of him, which most of the time to fight these monsters, I just get underneath them, they don't hit you. So I didn't get hit by one aside from to test to see how much it would do. Honestly, he was pretty easy. And that was it. That was the end of Monster Hunter for PlayStation 2. I had beaten the game that most Monster Hunter fans at this point hadn't beaten because a good chunk of them came around Monster Hunter 3 onward. I felt accomplished, like especially after specifically Cephalos. It was just a feeling of like ultimate, I did it. And that's what Monster Hunter is really about, you know? But after beating Monster Hunter 1, I don't think I'm ever going back to it. I might go back and do some of the secret quests because there's Kezu, Diablos, and other stuff like that. But for the time being, I'm not gonna. I might on my Twitch channel. You can find that link right here. I don't think I'd recommend playing this game to anyone. I think you should just go play one of the other ones. This game needs a lot of polishing, but I can't really fault it for what it has. It has its shtick, and it follows through on that shtick extremely well.